Well, a very good evening, everyone. A very good evening, everyone. Let's go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to another SCA Under-19 T20 League match. As the group matches come to a close, I think this is a pretty important match for both teams. We've got the KRS Reds in action again against NPS. I think the last time NPS were in action on our channel, they had a bit of a nightmare with some drop catches, and I think they went down as a result of it. KRS Reds on the back of a very good victory in the week in a shortened game, 7-over game. They chased down 54 in 6 overs against, who were they playing? Sporty Go. The games come thick and fast. Tests my memory a little bit, but a very good evening. It's a beautiful evening here in Singapore. It's been a nice day. Well, the morning was nice. Absolutely chucked it down for a couple of hours, but that tends to be the way here. And now this evening is absolutely splendid. There we go, just zooming out so you guys can have a look at that. Absolutely gorgeous evening here. We're just about ready for some action, so we'll get zoomed back in there for you in a moment. There we go. I think the umpires are just about ready to get this match underway. KRS Reds having a bat. First, looks to be a bit of gentle medium pace to begin this evening. Looked to be a little bit of swing with the new ball. And I'm not sure what the standings are. I had a little look for the league tables earlier today, but I couldn't find them. I know that, well, I believe the Reds are through. I believe that to be the case, but I'm not 100% sure. So whatever I'm about to tell you from now on in about qualification to the knockouts and the finals is going to be completely made up. So let's say that the KRS Reds need to win this game, actually. Let's just go with that. Makes it more interesting. NPS, we missed a couple of games last weekend. We were on our Cambodia golf trip, so may have missed out a little bit. That's a very good take, but down the leg side, that'll be wide. Yep, so we missed a couple of games, so I'm not entirely 100% sure how NPS have fared. I guess I could have a quick look on the SCA app. I'll get a new page open and I'll do that for you, just in case you're interested to know that information. That's another dot ball. Well, what I can say is that it sounds to me like NPS, they are up for it. The first time I commentated on NPS, I was having trouble remembering the amount of letters in their name, didn't know what it stood for, still don't really know what it stands for, but we've dropped the I and it's much more manageable for my simple little brain. So NPS, also their logo just says NPS, so that's what we'll call them, NPS against KRS Reds. Scores two off 4. Well, there's a bit of action going on the CSC ground over there. We'll just pan over. I don't know what's happening, but I think there's a wicket. It seems to be all happening. I don't know whether that game's over, but well, they're cheering like it is. I hope it is, because they're singing the victory song over there, but we'll come back to this game now. Okay, so that's another straight ball, a little bit of in swing, and they've got through for the one. Throw at the stumps, backed up, well done. I tell you what, this competition would have been fantastic had the weather been like this for the entire time. It looks like it's going to be an absolutely glorious evening. Down here. Just been joined at fine leg. You would have heard that. Score is 3 for no loss. What's the situation in the groups with this, bud? Oh, he's watched that one closely into the offside. What's the situation in the groups with this? You guys, have you won any games yet?
Yeah, we beat Thunderbolts.
Oh, nice. So if you win this, is it all about where you're finishing in the table, is it?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, that one's gone through slip. Now that could run away for 4 down there. That's the fastest part of the ground and the shortest boundary. It will be 4. That's the first boundary of the evening. So do you know what the situation? So if you win this, does it just depend on how you go through in the groups?
Yeah, most probably if we win this, then I think it depends on the standings and who will play in the qualifying.
Got it. How many games have you had washed out?
1 game again.
1 game. So you've won 1, had 1 washed out.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, he's missed a stumping there, and they've scrambled through for a bye. I think the captain, Pranav, there just dragged his back foot out of the crease. It could have been a stumping opportunity. I think it was missed. And a bit of salt into the wound. They ran through for the bye. The score goes on to 9. Played nice and straight. That's well bowled. Just trying to work out there what the standings are for the NPS team. I think the 2 teams are in identical situations, really. They've both had 1 washed out. Well, there's a misfield there. They've just scrambled through. We did talk about this at training last couple of training sessions at KRS. That our running's got to be a bit better. The intent there was better. The calling could have been a bit clearer. But as I was saying, I think both teams in this group, this second group, are, well, the first group, I really don't know. It's not clear. In this group, they've both won 1. They've both lost 1, I believe. They both had 1 washed out. So I would imagine they're on exactly the same points. But who knows? Who really knows? Bit of in-swing, punch down the ground. By Pranit Bart, not Pranjit. It says Pranjit on the scorecard. Stuffed me. Been coaching him for about 6 weeks or so. Saw the scorecard this evening, or yesterday evening, when I was commentating on the last KRS Reds game, and I thought I'd been saying his name wrong for 6 weeks because it says Pranjit Bart in the scorecard. So I turn up to the last training session, start calling him Pranjit instead of Pranit, even although I know his name's Pranit. And obviously, turns around to me and says, "Coach, why are you calling me Pranjit all of a sudden?" And it's fair enough. Well, the reason is it says Pranjit in the scorecard, so the scorecard stuffed me. Anyway, he's not on strike at the moment. He's at the non-strikers. My old mate Pranav Pukala on strike, the captain. He's 5 from 9 balls. Bit of in swing, down the ground again. They've pushed one to mid-on. They'll get there because he stood still. He didn't attack it. Applauded, the running applauded by the KRS team. We'll just pan around. They sat there to the left this evening. There's two viewing spots generally. One's over there and one you would have seen just behind the bowler and batter in the middle of this screen as we pan back to the game here. To the right of the sight screen. I think the better viewing area is where the NPS boys are today. They're to the right of the sight screen as we're looking at it. Unless it rains. And now that's coming down here for 4. That should, oh, it's going to slow up hugely. Now that is probably the best footage we've got just to show you how slow that outfield is. It really, the grass is long, the ground is wet. And this boundary here can only be about 50 metres. And that was a fine tickle down to fine leg, and it didn't go for 4. It's very slow. End of the third over. Score ticks on to 13 for no loss. They had an early chance, NPS, missed a stumping. They bowled reasonably tightly so far. A late cut there, what a lovely shot that is, and that could run away. No, that one just holds up as well. Good bit of fielding, chase down. So it really is the batters on this wicket, on this ground, with this outfield, they have to work hard for their runs. Even a shot like that where it was cut away with some decent pace to a relatively short boundary doesn't end up going. The slips just dropped out there, you'll see, onto the ring. 45, saving 1. Not sure whether the... Oh, he's just threaded the needle there. Lovely little late cut. That's gone through the keeper. Nearly some overthrows. Buzzers, we call them. Buzzers. Don't know why, actually. Just is one of those things. Maybe someone can tell me, why are they called buzzers? Comment down below. Buzzers. Well played, played on the back foot, tucked into the leg side and through for 1. This is already much better running than Thursday evening by the Reds. Much better intent. Much better calling. Turned a dot into 1 there, which is what you have to do in this format of the game. That's hit down the ground. Bit of a late call, I think, by the captain. They get through for 1 in the end. Always going to be 1. He got enough bat on that to hit down to long off. Score ticks on to 18. It's been a good over so far for the KRS Reds. Well bowled. I like this. It's the first time I can recall seeing this from an off spinner on a helpful wicket. A wicket that's offering some turn. He's gone round the wicket just to change up the angle. Trying to get the ball to pitch in line, straighten, trap the batter LBW. Now he's going to ask the question. Now that's probably exactly what he was looking to try and do. It's difficult to see because I'm just sat off to the side a little bit. So I would expect that the ball's either pitched outside leg, in which case it can't be out, or it's just done a little bit too much and is turning down the leg side. But I think that's a decent over, good show of intent from the Reds, and not a bad over at all. I think the score ticks on. What are we on? We're on 19 off 4 overs. Just waiting for the SCA app to catch up with me. Now this is what it's all about. This sort of weather in Singapore, if only it was like this all the time. Absolutely stunning. Saying that, I'm just looking over to my right. Just to the right of these buildings. Keep going, keep going. That cloud there looks like it could have something to say about the evening. Well bowled. But back to the game. Back to the game as we were, just getting the camera set up again. 2 openers, a decent start for the Reds. Oh, now that is a fantastic shot, hit through the line. What a shot, has that gone all the way? He's bombed him inside out, over extra cover for 6. What a fantastic shot. Outstanding shot. If I had the patience to put in a replay, I mean, that's such a good shot, I might even put in a replay over the top. Here we go, replay should be running now. What a magical shot, inside out, balance was superb. 6 runs now, that's going down the leg side. Too much swing, started too straight. What a great shot. Oh, he's tucked that from straight. Good piece of fielding. Great piece of fielding. Down low to his left. He certainly saved 1 run there because the square man is in front out there on the boundary. We'll just pan around. He's just in front. He's sort of at a square mid-wicket. So the guy just behind square here definitely saved 1 run for his team. Well fielded young man. Ooh. Just missed out on that one. Just looking to go a bit too square, I think, the captain at the moment. Probably benefit from looking to hit the ball a little bit straighter. I think he's trying to get it through that gap on the offside. They've left him a nice gap out there, so in between the straight extra that we can see on the left of screen now and on the right of screen is sort of deep. Well, he's a cover on 1, but that's a floaty full toss that he's got away with. Carla just hitting that hard at straight extra cover that was just on our screen a moment ago. Well, a fine over again from KRS Reds on a fine evening. I think they'll be happy with their start. 26 off the first 5 overs, 1 over of power play left. Pranit Bhatt onto 13 off 14 balls. Pranav Pakala 10 off 16. No wickets just yet for NPS, but they've missed the stumping chance. We'll call it a half chance. We'll give the keeper a bit of a break there. I think it was a half chance. Never easy, up to the stumps, under the lights, at twilight. So we just wait for the new bowler. We'll give you the zoomed out view again as the sun goes down. I'm joined here on the boundary as well. Bit of company out here. That's who I was talking to earlier, just to find out what the standings of the 2 teams were, find out how the NPS team are getting on in the competition. It sounds like 2 very similar teams. Wow, that is a fantastic shot. Flicked over the leg side, just straying a bit straight, and that's gone for 4. Well, I just had a feeling after the way he trained. No, I'm not going to say it. On Friday, he trained, well, I'll just say he trained very well on Friday. Picked up another boundary, score ticks on to 26, he's gone again, same way. Fielder will chase this out to the boundary. The captain getting a bit of stick from his teammates, told to run. Wasn't concentrating on the running too much, but that is certainly something that was spoken about in training. Now they're the long off goes up back into the ring, which I think is a smart move. Bart looking to get across his stumps ever so slightly, or dominate the straight bowling, tucking it into the leg side, which has some success with. Let's see if the field change brings about a change in the batting. No, he's gone again. That ball was sliding down leg. I like his commitment to his plan. Very good batting. He's picked up another 2. This time off the leg though. The score. Let's refresh the SCA website. 34, so I think that could be 2 behind. I think that could be on to 36 with 2 balls to go in the over. But just starting to tick here. Well played, young man. Now I think that could be out. Now they've put them under pressure and scrambled the 1. Now they've got the overthrows. Buzzers. Has anyone told me what buzzers means yet? I don't think so. I don't know. It's not live, so I'll pick it up after. But if you know, do tell me. But another 2 to the tally. I think that's on to... Let's refresh the app, shall we? On to 38. It says 2 balls to go still. Another good over so far by KRS. Bart just starting to tick. Just reaching for that one. I think a better line by the bowler. Aditya Bhatia just taking the line ever so slightly more towards the offside. That one more like 5th stump, I think, from the angle I'm sat at. And he's tucked him again into the leg side. I think if they push here, they should get too easy. He didn't have the ball, so he can't give it out. Good running. Much better running. They're going to need a water. This is going to test the lads' fitness, the 2 batters. Fantastic running. I think that's another good over. Let's have a look, shall we? 38. 38 off 6. So the power play now done, which I think NPS will be happy at. Not that the KRS Reds have got away to too much of an explosive start, but they've certainly got a good start. Run rate at 6.3 at the end of the power play. As far as run rates have gone on this ground, it's a pretty good run rate. Projected score at this stage is 126. Both batters set. Bart 25 from 20. Pokala 10 from 16. So it was all Bart in that over, really. Pokala, the captain, helping out by running the 2s. Let's see how fit he is. He's just had a little drink there, so both the batsmen. It is still very hot here. I would say it's still just about in the 30s, if not certainly high 20s. It does feel much cooler because it had a rain earlier today. Well, it did out by where I was living anyway. I am living, I should say, which is out to the east side of Singapore. We're currently much more central for these games. Let me just zoom out as we begin to lose the light. Beautiful blue sky. Played across what looks like a straight one there. They're begging for a decision. They needed something to get them going, the NPS boys, but nothing doing there. Must have, well, from the angle I'm sat, it looked like he must have got himself outside the line just a fraction, but looked like it could have been a close call. Score on 40. 40 for no loss. Oh, bizarre. It's, again, odd decision really by the umpire. Not odd that it's out, but just odd how he got there, because it wasn't even half the shout of the one he gave not out the ball before. And his finger was half up, then it was sort of down, and then it was up again. If he's that uncertain, probably should be not out. But what do we know? We can't see from here. That's the first wicket for NPS. I think they needed that. The score 40 for 1, halfway through the 7th over. And it's Prasad who's got the breakthrough. Now, what we have said is that in this competition, on this wicket, you're going to get most value for bowling full and straight. You want to be attacking the stumps, which he's done there. 2 balls in a row by the looks of it, and surprise, surprise, he's got the breakthrough. Very, very simple. As a bowling unit at this ground, your plan should be to still bowl your length, look to hit the top of off. On this wicket, it's a little bit fuller than usual. But attack those stumps as much as possible so that if the ball does misbehave, then you get rewarded. And by rewarded, I mean get a wicket. He's done that there. Prasad, he's got the breakthrough, he's got the captain. Captain goes for 12 off 19. Bit of a weird one, but a wicket nonetheless. Now they're just up and about a little bit more as we lose the natural light here in Singapore. The floodlights begin to take full effect. Swarit Thakur comes to the crease. Played an outstanding cameo innings in the last game for the Reds. I believe he came to the crease with the team needing about 11, 12, something like that to win. And he hit a gigantic 6 in the penultimate over, as well as picking up another couple here and there. That meant that they were starting the beginning of the last over with 1 to win, and that's a wide. There's a lot happened there. It was a wide ball. I think Thakur must be stood a little bit out of his crease to sort of nullify the slowness of the wicket, get a bit closer to the bowler, a bit more distance in between him and his stumps, just in case he does get one that pitches low. And then the wicketkeeper had a throw at the stumps and hit, but Thakur must have got back to his crease. Anyway, here we go. Being attacked here by bugs. Not sure what that was, but it was massive. Sounded like a helicopter. End of the 7th over. A good one for NPS. 42 for 1. Just the 5 coming from it. And of course the wicket. Bhatia to start his 2nd over for NPS. Bart took a bit of a liking to the pace of Bhatia in the previous over. Let's see if Bhatia can get back into this game a little bit and Oh, he's hit that straight to point, and he has. It's a good response. Slow ball, and it was a great comeback. Bart having the better of Bartia in the previous over. This time the ball just stopping a little bit. Bart getting out in front of himself ever so slightly. And just chipping that one to point. Point takes a good catch. Good couple of overs this is looking like for NPS. Just swinging the momentum back their way a little bit. Score now 42 for 2. KRS Reds lose 2 wickets in 2 overs. Now, a lot of what we've been doing at training is preparing for something like this and making sure that if we do lose a couple of quick wickets, we take time to go through a scenario in which we spend a couple of overs rebuilding. Let's see how they put it into practice. It's a difficult scenario. It's been made difficult at training. The challenge is, can you remember what you did in your training? Can you take it out to the middle? Can you replicate it in the middle? Well watched, well bowled, Bartia. Adjusted his line a little bit as well. I think the over before, down to good footwork by Bart, or Bartia just straying on his line a little bit. Getting too straight. Bart took him into the leg side. Bartia's just taken his line more towards 4th, 5th stump. And it looks like he's settled in a little bit now. A bit more confidence after the wicket. This is certainly much better bowling, much better line from the pace bowler. That's a wide, just a bit too wide. Bowling to his field, he's just strayed a little bit too wide on the offside. And just keep an eye on the extras, as I like to do. You will know that by now. 43 for 2. Extras already up at 6. Into the 8th over. Now, that's nicely bowled. As a bowling unit, that's what you want to see your bowlers doing. Bowl one side of the wicket. 4th, 5th stump. He's bowling to his field. He's got a bit straight there. He's picked it up though. He's got the hit. Good fielding. Tidied up. It's like he's got, what has he got here? He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's got a conventional field. 5-4 offside. He's got just ringed up on the offside. Man down at 3rd man on the leg side. He's just dropped one back to the ring now. The leg side, he's got the sweeper out at the square leg boundary. Tucked into the leg side. Well played. That's a very good over. That's 2 very good overs, I think, for NPS. Got the wicket. And I'll have to try and remember how many runs came off it. Not more than 2 or 3. One, just the 2 runs from it. So very well bowled. Mr. Bartia. KRS Reds just going to need to spend a couple of overs maybe rebuilding here. Tucks that one down to fine leg. Comes through for the 1. Well played. D'accord, just looking to impose himself on the bowler. I think he can give himself a little bit more time. Saying that, he played exactly the same shot the other night and it went out the ground, so he's full of confidence, wants to do the same thing. He's a batter that has quite a flamboyant flourish. He will certainly be wanting to continue where he left off the other night. But like all batters his age, 15, 16, would benefit from being a little bit more patient. But we don't want to see that, do we? We want to see him get on with it. Hit it into the road. Another wide, so extras onto 7. And there's a good looking shot. Straight to the man on the drive there, straight extra cover. NPS just dragging momentum back their way a little bit. And that's well bowled, young man. A very good length, drawing him onto the front foot. Outside off stump, encouraging to drive into that gap on the offside, which we just showed you earlier today. It's still there, massive gap really. You see the fielder out there giving one. Oh, and he's just got hold of that one. They'll run 2. I like the look of that. Positive. Looking to go straight, which is everything we've discussed at training. NPS doing a good job here, the NPS bowlers. Prasad into his, just finished his second over. Oh, that would have been an outstanding catch. I think that's just on the camera. You'd have just seen him put that down. I think that's Bhatia at mid-wicket going to his left one-handed. Almost took an absolute worldie. As it is on the stats, it will go down as another drop catch for NPS though. It's a tough score. So Prasad finishes his second over. 1 from the last ball. I think he's got, let's have a look at his figures after his first 2. 2 overs. He's gone for just the 9 runs. And of course taken the wicket. So well bowled. Start of the 10th. Bhatia coming in again for his 3rd. Oh, now that's a nice looking shot. There's a man out there on the boundary who'll come round and collect that. I think they'll just come through for 1. It's a lovely looking shot through the offside. Cover drive. That's the 50 up for the Reds. 50 for 2 in the 10th. Little round of applause. That'll be Coach Darrell on top of them, no doubt. That's another wide. Important for any young team, the culture of the team, to make sure you're fully immersed in what the team's doing when you're batting. Not faffing around on the boundary edge, talking nonsense, playing games, this, that and the other. Follow the boys that are out in the middle. Make sure the boys, the 2 out in the middle, know that you're supporting them, know that you're following along with them. If they're doing a good job, you better let them know about it. And the KRS batsmen at the moment, especially the two out there in the middle, they are doing a good job, taking the time to rebuild. 50 for 2 is a good start. That's a lovely looking shot into the leg side. Much better bowling this, I think, from NPS the last 3 or 4 overs, but for the wides. I think they would have turned the screw much more had they not given extras in wides. Now that's a lovely looking shot. That's a proper shot. Mid off collecting. Hit the ball in. That's it. Bhatia bowling well. Now, straight to point. Straight to point. Batter on strike said no. Sent his mate back immediately. Nice early call. Nice straight bat. Well bowled Bhatia again. He's bowled a lovely set there, and that's the halfway stage. And we'll have some drinks. The score at 52 for 2. Pretty evenly poised. Last 3 or 4 overs, NPS have just dragged it back a little bit in terms of momentum, but a good opening stand by Bart and Pakala. Now rebuilding by Thakur and Nambiar. Game evenly poised halfway through the KRS innings. But as we return from a quick drink, we resume. 52 for 2. I think KRS will be happy with this start. Projected run rate, projected score, sorry, is 104. Current run rate just over 5s, 5.2. Building a decent platform. Both of these guys batting now, Thakur and Nambiar, can strike the ball, so they'll want to, I think, bat for another 2 or 3 overs before they take the handbrake off, put the throttle down. That's a wide. Just starting to mount up now, those extras. It's been the same with most teams, a lack of discipline with the line. Hit into the onside. Mid-on's in the ring, but that's just to his right hand side. So they pick up 1. Well played. Very sensible cricket by these two at the moment. Exactly what KRS Reds need. Looking to hit the ball straight with the full face of the bat. Oh, nearly the classic commentator's curse. Now the other night he played a cameo, heroic cameo knock to get the Reds over the line in 7 over a side match, which was shortened by the rain. And that was the shot that he played to hit the bomb. Going for it again. Look to go straighter. Oh, it's gone through his legs. It's gone down to his knees, extra cover, and it's just gone through his legs. So he'll come through for 1. Captain won't be happy with that. They want to try and squeeze as much pressure as possible. Keep the Reds under pressure. It's certainly NPS that have taken the momentum, I'd say, since the 2 openers have got out. Oh, now that could be Got to go a little bit. He's gonna give him. Just always two, but just slow running. What a disappointment, and he should be disappointed. Now, it will be interesting to see that again, but it's something we've discussed. You've got to run them hard. You've got to shout loud. You've got to be clear with your calling. Otherwise, that happens. So, just as I was saying, NPS stolen the momentum back. Now they've taken another wicket, so the third KRS Reds wicket falls. And it's a run out, and that'll be disappointing because I was obviously recording the fielder doing the work, so I didn't watch the running. I have to watch that back, but with where the ball ended up, you would have thought, had they run properly, there should have been two. As it stands, NPS pick up their third wicket. Good bit of fielding. Fielder didn't give up on it, chased it down. Bit of confusion with the running. Didn't run it hard enough. Got the ball into the keeper, took the bails off. Great bit of fielding. Something we work on a lot at training as well, especially for these 2020 games. We want to try our best to take 1 or 2 wickets with outstanding fielding. Usually that would be a run out, but it can be an outstanding catch. But we want to try to affect a wicket, make stuff happen in the field. Keeps everybody in the game, keeps everybody on their toes. Also helps out the bowling unit hugely if you can take 1 or 2 wickets by outstanding fielding. And that was a good bit of fielding. Looks like that wasn't quite over. 1 ball short, which has happened a few times in this competition. I know that because when I have to go back through these videos and put the scores in, they often don't add up. They don't. It's not often. Every now and then there's a missed ball. Every now and then. Not often. It's a bit harsh. It's a bit too harsh, that. Now that is the end of the over. Another good one, I think, for NPS. 56 for 3. That projected score, though, stays on 102. It was 104, wasn't it, at the beginning of the over? So the run rate just over 5s, 5.1. Samyak Desai, the new batter, left-handed. Bowled very well for the Reds. He's also a leg spinner. Bowled very well for the Reds in the previous game. Took 2 wickets with his first 2 balls. He was on a hat-trick. Hat-trick ball narrowly missing the outside edge. So he didn't quite get the hat-trick, but finished with 3 wickets. Could have been a couple more. Had a missed stumping, so should be coming into this with some confidence. Let's see what he can do with the bat. Change of bowling from this end. Bit of off spin. So immediately twisting it at a decent pace, relatively flat, which is, I think, how you've got to bowl on this wicket. You don't want to chuck it up too much. You want to bowl it into the wicket. Use the stodgy surface. I have to say, it looks to be playing all right. Already not loving the body language of young Desai. Getting down on himself. He's only faced 2 balls. Gives me an indication that he feels like he's in a rush. No. Oh, he's missed the stumps. He's missed the stumps. It would have been absolutely roasted. He would have been out by a long stretch. the two batters have given themselves a couple of thumbs up, but I don't think, had the keeper taken the bails off, there would be any thumbs up within a square mile of the Reds team. We're in a Sunday barbecue. Well, they made it through, so another one onto the score. Doesn't mind the spin, that's gone up, so he's hit that one, driven that one solidly down to mid-off. It was a fully. Pick up another one. Now, if I was Thakur, I'd be on my toes. Certainly wouldn't have my hand on my hip. I wouldn't be moving as slowly as he is at the moment. He's taken only a couple of paces outside. That's just where bit of cricket awareness, bit of intelligence, cricketing intelligence of course, comes in. He's got his hand on his hip. 1, 2. He should be much further down the wicket. Got to have a much better awareness of what your partner's trying to do, which is obviously hit the ball and get him back on strike. That was a good shot there by Desai. Cutting that one to backward point, good bit of fielding. Someone. Another run to the scoreboard. End of the 12th over, 59 for 3. Projected score down to 98. NPS bringing that run rate down below 5, 4.9. It's been a good 5 or 6 overs from NPS. They definitely got the momentum back their way. It's a good take by the keeper, but it's going to be another wide. The extras now into double figures. With that wide, they're on to 11. Yeah, on to 11. The app's just updated. Takes the score on to 60. So that's mostly wides, I think. So that's the extra one for the wide, and then the extra ball that they have to bowl. So we saw how costly these extras could be in the last game that the Reds played in. They bowled a few themselves. And you could almost, that was a carbon copy of the way he got out in the very first game. So he'll be disappointed with that, Desai. He's played back and across a back of a length ball that's hit the ground, then walked off like a toddler. Can't be doing that. Another wicket for the NPS boys though. As we keep saying, you'll be rewarded for bowling straight. Doesn't have to be flashy, just needs to be straight. That ball was straight, looked to be length, just back of a length. Didn't bounce much, which this wicket is quite famous for. And the KRS Reds just starting to stall out a little bit. They want to keep the momentum going. Oh. I'm gonna have to look at who this is coming into bat, because however he's just taken his guard was ridiculous. But he's played a good shot to begin with. Into the covers. You see some funny things in this under-19s cricket, don't you? Well played onto the front foot, well bowled as well. So the Reds struggling a little bit here in the last 4, 5, 6 overs. Take no credit away from NPS because they've taken their chances. They bowled straight. They got a good run out. And KRS Reds have just lost a little bit of concentration, just lost their way a little bit. They certainly got control back of this game. That projected score down at 94. Straight to that man at the cover who's just in the ring there. So he's saving one. Just. End of the 13th over. Another good one for NPS. Score is 60 for 4. Projected run. Projected score, projected runs from here. It's come down to 92. Current run rate, 4.6. So since the halfway mark of the innings, NPS have done a great job. It was 104, if I'm not mistaken, the start of the 11th. They've taken a couple of poles since then, and that rate's continued to come down, as has the projected score. But the Reds still have Thakur in. He's the cameo hero from Thursday night. There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of questions being asked. Looked like he just played and missed to me. Maybe the keeper was just finally pleased that he took one cleanly, having missed a couple of stumpings. Well taken. Certainly NPS now, you can probably hear on the microphones, they're up and about. They can feel that the momentum of this game is with them. Look to absorb some of this pressure, KRS Reds, get through this patch. Still a lot of balls to face in this innings. Now that one's gone straight up in the air. It's above the lights. These catches have been difficult. NPS, I was about to say, NPS haven't had the best record of catches. Haven't had the best record for catching opportunities, taking their catches, and that does continue. They come back for 2. Oh, now that one's down the ground in the middle of both of them. Oh, blimey, that's happened about 15 foot in front of me. I thought I was going to have to call the ambulance. I don't know whether he dropped it. I was too worried about whether someone was going to die. If he did get there, he dropped it. Thakur looking to go a little bit early here. I think he could give himself a bit more time. That's nicely played, nicely bowled. That's another over completed for NPS. I'd say it's NPS is over. And then another couple of drop catches, I think. I didn't see the second one really, I was too busy recording it, but the first one certainly was. The catch that should have been taken. The second one, I don't know. I was halfway through dialing Raffles Hospital to send a couple of the NPS boys in with broken faces. Fortunately, they didn't collide. also didn't catch the ball. Was 6 overs to go. Another wide. And these wides starting to build up. How many wides have we bowled so far? So 2 byes, 1 leg bye, 9 wides. Extras is 12, which is the, well, joint second top score in the KRS innings. And he hasn't got back. That's actually a sharp bit of keeping, just more inexperience from the Reds. Got to have more urgency about you as a batting unit. That's 2 silly dismissals from the Reds, really. Take nothing away from NPS. It was a good bit of fielding earlier. The batters should have run harder. A good bit of fielding, and then that's a very sharp stumping from the wicketkeeper there. That's the 5th wicket. To fall for the Reds. Score 65 for 5. And NPS starting to look like they've got a real chance of pushing home this momentum. They need to be ruthless. They need to keep bowling straight. And they've got a shot at bowling out the KRS Red team here within their 20 overs. They don't have to do too much different. Keep turning the screw, bowling straight, keep those wides off the scorecard. And if I was their captain, I would be bowling it the bloke at this end. We're now into what you would say is the tail, so keep Thakur away from the strike as much as possible and bowl at the guys coming in from this end. New batsman, left-hander, Aniket Sina. They're appealing for something, I'm not entirely sure what. I think it should have been a wide. 1 ball to go in the over. Obviously NPS, their tails are up now. They'd gone quiet a little bit with the first partnership. They've been let very much back in the game. And since they dismissed the 2 openers, I have to say they've been in control of this game. KRS trying to find a way back in, but slowly but surely, NPS have been closing the door on them. And they've got full control of this game now. Another good over for NPS. Score 65 for 5. Five overs to go. Projected score 86. Current run rate 4.3. NPS doing a great job. Difficult wicket to come in and bat on though, and if you get a few early wickets, it's very difficult to get to a total. It's been the case the whole way through the competition. I think if the Reds can get towards 86, 87, 90, scramble through for 2. was saying, if the KRS Reds can get somewhere mid-80s towards 90, I think they'll take that. They bowl well, they've got a good bowling unit. That's a nice shot straight down the ground. Should just be one. So d'accord, the last of the recognised batsmen for the Reds, still looking to play his shots and tick the scoreboard over. He's got to do that. I think the Reds will be looking to get towards 90. I still think that's a very reasonable and decent total on this wicket. You'll have to bowl well. That's well bowled. He's appealing, having bowled the left-handed seamer. You don't need to appeal for those, son. Well, continued pressure by an unrelenting NPS team. Take the 6th wicket of the KRS Reds innings. 67 for 6. Forgot my water this evening, which is quite frankly an error, because I'm so thirsty now, sat here on the far side of the ground. It's times like this I start to wonder what I'm doing, but if you are tuning in, I don't think I've asked anybody to like, subscribe, share the video. Even if you don't do all of the rest of it, just give the video a like. Give the highlights a like. Go on, do it now. Thank you. Another wide. So followed up his middle stump Yorker with a leg side wide. Just struggling to readjust to the new right-hander. That's played on the back foot quite nicely into the offside. The call is no. Quite rightly so, because it went to point quite quickly. He picked it up cleanly, and there would have been some danger, I suspect, had they chosen to run. That should be one. Oh, it's gone through him. Goodness, I don't think the batters called at all there. There was zero calling. What's wrong with these blokes? Why can't they open their mouth? I tell you what, you get to the end of training or you get to the beginning of training, these blokes, you can't shut them up on a Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night, Sunday morning. Cannot shut them up. Get two blokes paired up batting together, they don't say a word to each other. As it is, that looks like it's down the leg side. Should be a wide. Off the leg this time. I need to go and get my eyes checked. Leg buys. And what MPS just need to be careful of here is the extras, because they're now up to 13. Now that wasn't a wide, fair enough. It was a leg buy, but it was on its way to being a wide. Extras 13, so second top score is extras. The scoreboard hasn't been updated though by the scorer. Don't know what he's doing. I'll make that they've ticked on just above 70 for 6. 4 overs remaining, but we're still waiting for the scorecard to be updated online. NPS in control of the game, you would say, after a good opening stand by KRS Reds. That looks to be a wide. I think if he bowls another one out there, it would certainly be called. Looked to be a touch on the wide side.
Bowling boy, bowling boy.
That's a run. He's thrown that very hard. He's past the stumps, so they scramble through for one. Just having a bit of issues, a few issues, a bit of trouble. The scorecard here seems to be a bit behind. Looks to be some movement going on over at the
Come on, Annie.
the scorer's hut just over there. That's gone out into the offside. Should be two if they turn and go. It's a good throw. They've got a couple in. I'm just going to score here as well, just in case there has been an issue with the electronic scorecard. Oh, now it seems a bit more up to date, so it's just ticked on. I was scoring. I went a bit quiet there because I was just scoring. I saw some commotion over by the scorer's hut, which is just beyond number 15. Little hut there. Saw Daryl going across there to ask some questions. The score, the electronic scorecard hadn't ticked over. He's nicked that. It's gone down to the man at third man. Well, he's kind of like a third man slash backstop down there, really. Just for that one. It's the boundary's a short straight here, so really it's quite a good position on this round, run saving position. If it was a bit wider, it would have certainly been 4. So I was a bit quieter there than usual because I was just scoring also, but no need. I can put my scoring notes away. Well, actually, nope. Because the scoring is all over the place, so I'm going to keep scoring. It's gone into the offside. He's not going to catch it. Oh, I've just overcooked it with the camera. Well, daft running. It's all going on here. It looks like the scorer's cocked something up. These blokes can't run between the wickets. Whoever's operating the electronic scorecard has also cocked it up. Let's have a look at the over by over score. 17th over. ... 1-2 wicket. ... 1-2 wicket. I've got the same thing. So at least he's got that right. So that makes it 1 ball left in this over. Just got to be careful here. As I was saying, NPS will want to turn the screw. They've got an opportunity here to bowl the Reds out within their 20. Really a bit of a crime if you don't see out your 20 overs in a shortened format. So the Reds got to be careful that they don't lose 3 more quick wickets. this. There was one ball missed in that, if that's the start of a new over, there was one ball missed, I believe. So even the umpires can't count to 6. It's happened at least once. So I did comment, I feel bad for commenting the standard of umpiring and people managing the ground, the groundsmen, well, titles of facility manager, things like that are just very, very average here. I was saying to someone the other day that if this was in the UK, nobody would play cricket at this ground on that wicket. Certainly not at any standard that represents a national league. Another sharp bit of keeping there though. Took the bails off quickly. Asked the question, did he drag his heel? Looked like he did lift it there for a second. It must have been back down in time. Off the scorecard. It's playing around again. 74 for 6. There we go. Oh, that's gone through the keeper's legs. That'll be byes. Another one to the total. I'm not entirely sure what's going on here because the umpires seem to think there's 2 balls remaining. The scorer has got it as over. So I think the scorer is struggling. He's gone for that shot again now. That's the exact same end he was at when he hit the 6 over into the deep mid-wicket boundary on Thursday. Got to encourage him to hit a bit straighter than that. Hit it at the sight screen, that's the shortest boundary. That's a much better strike, much better balanced. Hit hard down the ground. That'll be over. Now, I've been quiet, I suppose, in the last over and talking a bit of nonsense, trying to work out just what is happening with the scorecard, but it looks like finally now the score is on top of it. I think you'll see Darryl on the far side there he goes. He's been pacing backwards and forwards from the scoreboard to the scorer's hut there, saying, all right mate, what's the score? Because the last 2 overs it's been all over the place. Anyway, back to the cricket. Oh, he's gone straight, he's got that one. Finally, he'll be happy with that. Bombed him straight over his head. That's what we discussed. Go big, go straight. Pop him over his head. 6 runs, little shrug of the shoulders there, puffs his chest out. Like that from Thakur. Now, very much needed boundary. I would say if he can go here at the end, in this over, the end of the innings, especially in this over, if we can pop a couple over there, all of a sudden this becomes a very decent total. Having had a good start with their openers, the Reds, if we can get a little Thakur flourish with the tail, if the KRS Reds tail can wag, get them somewhere towards 90 and 100 with a few more shots like that, we have a very, very interesting game on our hands. think every time we hit a bomb, you guys have got to press like if you haven't. So that's the general rule. If you watched any of the other videos that we've brought you, every time there's a bomb, you've got to press the like button. And subscribe whilst you're there. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Live cricket. Bit of commentary from Singapore. I love cricket. If you're watching this, you love cricket. Tickle the like button. Caress the subscribe button. Then you can see more. As I say, we go out of our way to bring you these highlights, and it does make us feel all warm and fuzzy inside when we see that people have liked it, enjoyed it, subscribed to the channel. We're going to be doing more stuff on the channel, hopefully. Daryl and I. As we said on previous videos, I think Daryl's going to try and line up some pace bowling, speed bowling sessions with the national team. We're lucky to have a few of the boys in the under 19s development team for Singapore as well, so we're going to be doing some more bits with those guys. I think Daryl and I are going to be doing some challenges as well soon. It's a good shot into the leg side. That's a great bit of fielding, backing up a bit too far. And a direct hit. Again, just slight lack of awareness, slight lack of cricketing intelligence. But what I will say is he was looking for the run. So you got to give him credit there. And it was a very, very sharp piece of fielding there by, it looks like, if the fielder hasn't changed, by Bhatia again, who's was involved in that bowling partnership that took the wicket of one of the openers. I think it was Bart. And that bowling partnership was responsible for bringing control and momentum back NPS's way. And he's continued in the field by ensuring that they keep turning the screw and taking KRS wickets with a brilliant direct hit there from mid-wicket. So 8 down now, KRS. They're on 86 though, which I think still not a bad total. We've discussed this wicket can be tricky, it can be difficult. It doesn't get any easier batting second. If you bowl full and bowl straight, going at 4s or 5s is very, very challenging indeed on this wicket. That should be 2 if they run hard. Ball's being collected now. As long as they run, they should be fine. And they are. I just took the time to watch the running between the wickets there, and Thakur, as he was getting to this end, looked like he was convulsing to get out the way of the ball. I've never known a bunch of lads to struggle with the concept of running between the wickets so much, but I mean, as a coach, it's absolutely captivating. You just got to run 20 yards one direction, turn back 20 yards in the other. Always hit that well straight down the ground. Be out to long off there, does the work. What's the state of play? How many balls left in this over, please, sir? 89 for 8 to score. 1 ball to go in this over, so no real need. If these boys have got half a brain, no real need to do too much. The NPS lads will definitely want to give them 1. They'll want to bowl at the number 10. And a good result for KRS Reds, a dot ball for NPS. They've made it to the last over, which wasn't looking 100% likely around the 13th, 14th over, but they've made it to the final over, and they've got Thakur at the crease. He's 26 from 32. He's just hit the maximum in the previous over. He was a bit of a cameo hero the other night, Thursday night here. Hit a 6 down towards this end. He'll certainly be trying to do the same thing again. But NPS have been bowling well, so it won't be easy. I'll have to run hard. Whatever they do, they'll have to run hard. Bit of a false start by the bowler. Oh, he's got down on one leg. Out to the deep mid wicket. Well, that's the inexperience there. They've got to turn and go. They didn't. Again, just comes back down to inexperience. Right now, they should be getting together in the middle and saying, whatever happens here, run. That's through the offside. It's a good shot. Thakur back on strike. So well played by the number 10. Aurora in at number 10. Can't do his shoelaces up. Well, mid-wicket's kindly come in to do his shoelace up. I saw him walking away there and see his shoelace dragging. Thakur's whacked that out so long. They should turn and go. They should just turn and go. They have, and they've made it through for 2. Shock. If you just turn and go, most of the time you'll get home. Saying that, NPS have fielded well. They did get the direct hit. Bhatia with a direct hit, I believe. At this stage of the game, though, the KRS Reds have got to run them. They've got to run them hard. If Thakur's hitting down to long on, long off, then the batter at the non-striker should be backing up a long way. He should be turning and going. That's another good shot. Now they can go. That's great awareness, great awareness. And they've got through with the direct hit. Slightly unfortunate from the fielder, but it's very much in the fortune of the KRS Reds, and much better awareness. Thakur looks like he's just run a marathon. Don't know if he'll have the strength to hit the ball for 6. There's 2 balls left. Score's 95 for 8. I think this is starting to become a good-looking total by the Reds. Certainly, they weren't looking like getting that close to 100. It's well bowled. They'll take a dot at this stage of the innings. NPS. For a long time, it wasn't looking like the Reds were going to get up towards 100, but Thakur has steered the innings quite nicely. He's hit the maximum and ticked over nicely. They've run well at times, not so well at other times. Oh, he's inside edge that one. They'll scramble through for 1, and I think that's the end of the innings. So good fight from the Reds. Very well done from NPS after the Reds got off to a very good good start to the innings with the openers, Bart and Pakala, 25 and 12 respectively. Takur's done well there. He's ended up on 32 off 37 and managed to steer the innings to a reasonable total in the end, 96 for 8. The extras from the NPS team, well, they bowled 15 extras, 10 of which were wide. So let's see if that ends up playing a part in the second half. Okay, now that is a longer than usual break in the middle. As I was saying, towards the back end of the KRS Reds innings, the scoring had gone awry. The umpires had lost count as well, so they came over to look at the footage that I'd been taking. The whole thing's taken about half an hour, which is ridiculous. And then the umpire had the audacity to have a go at me when I told him to get on with the game. It's already 9:05. Play should have resumed 25 minutes ago. Absolute debacle. SCA, get control of the blokes officiating, scoring this level of cricket. It's a shambles. This is a proper tournament for the Development League so far. The level of umpiring has been shambolic. There's been no control. The scoring on this occasion and many occasions in every game that I've had to edit the videos of because we're recording, often has had 5 ball overs, runs missed, shambolic. Then to have the audacity to try and have a word with me, Mr. Umpire at square leg, well, you'll get told very swiftly where to go. You and your partner at the other end and your scorer are getting paid out here to officiate, do your jobs. Now, finally, we're underway. The captain with the new ball. Another false start, don't know what's going on. It's all happening and nothing's happening all at the same time. In the half-time break, I think I seem to get the impression that KRS, Coach Darryl, Coach Fred seemed to have calculated that KRS had a couple more runs than perhaps they thought they did. We tried to look back at the footage. We didn't see any extra runs, I don't think. But we did see that, I think the 17th over was a 5 ball over, which I can't remember if I called it at the time, but that's just about when I started scoring, and I do have that as ... 1, 2, 1 with the run out and the wicket. So it was a 5 ball over. I did try and tell them that. They were having none of it, even although it showed it on the video that I was showing them. So it doesn't leave me with much hope for the officials. They make a mistake, you show them a video of the mistake, you tell them about the mistake, they still don't believe it's a mistake. Peanuts. That's where we were just discussing potentially having a man on that gully line for a catcher at the half-time break. Well, the job's a simple one for the KRS Reds. They've got to run in and bowl their best ball as often as possible. Trying to bowl length and straight. Attack the stumps if one misbehaves. Now take the wicket. Captain coming in, doing a good job with the new ball. He's taken the new ball in every game so far. Bowled well earlier today at training. The KRS Reds, most of this team attended a training session this morning, 8 AM to 10:30 out at the SCA Sports Club. Great facility out there. That's where Darryl and I are doing a lot of our coaching at the moment. Out towards the airport, great facility, 10 nets, so quite comfortably the best availability. Should be a run out. Oh, it would have been out if he had hit. Great pick up, just needed the direct hit. Not on this occasion. That would have been a great start for the Reds. They're looking to get off to a good start. They want to try and keep it tight, I'm sure. They'll certainly want to keep those extras down. And they'd love to start with a little bang bang here, I'm certain. Well, he's taken the new ball in every game so far, and this is how he's been starting. He looks to move the ball in, but he's just bowled too straight. He's bowled too many extras for me. I'd like to see him either turn that ball around so it's cross seam and bowl straight, or bowl somebody else with a new ball who's got a bit more control. It's not good enough to start with as many extras and wides as he has been doing, and he'll know that, the captain. That's a good spot. Don't move from there. Bowl the rest of your spell in exactly that spot and you won't go for any runs. You probably take 5 for. NPS, they'll be looking to get off to a good start, which they have done. First over, already on 7, which is above the rate. Run rate required is just below 5s, about 4.7, 4.8. There's that gully position. That's exactly what I said at the half-time break. If you're going to have a catcher, get him in on gully line. What do I know? Well fielded, it's a great piece of fielding. One-handed pickup, rapid work there at backward point. We just discussed that in the break where that ball went twice in that over, in the air. They were talking about having slip. I said I've watched about 8 games on this wicket. I've not seen one ball really go through slip with genuine nick. You're better off with a gully, 4th slip, just about where that ball went through in the air. As it is, a good start from NPS. They'll like that start. 9 for no loss. The run rate required, 4.79. Got a bit of spin early. So Dakar, after his good knock, be coming on to bowl. At training earlier today, this is not the field. We said 5-4 leg side. This is not the field. He's got the man out there, but he's all alone. Just telling him to go a bit squarer. Of course, you'll see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the offside. I'd never tell an off spinner to bowl with that field. But he looks like he's just sliding it away there. He bowled nicely this morning at training, which is why he's trying to do the job in the power play. Bowled with good pace. This already looks a bit slower than what he bowled in the nets. Can happen once you get out into the middle. It's a different game once you're in the middle. That's better bowling. That should be where the straight mid wicket's at. Now I'd like to see one of these guys, probably that guy in the centre, who's the captain, over this side. Somewhere over there into the leg side, which is where he's looking to turn the ball. Bowl straight, wicket to wicket, put the batters under pressure. This guy's pulled away a couple of times. I think he must have something in his helmet. Two balls to go. It's been a good over so far by Dakar. He's bowled one side of the wicket, bowled at a decent pace. See if he can close out. Two balls to go. Nice and tight there. Well bowled, well bowled. It's a good start by Dakar. Very well bowled indeed. Just what KRS needed. One run off the over. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, behind the camera here. Ten runs of the first two, a better over from the KRS Reds. Change of bowling. Captain's brought himself off. Aniket Sina into the attack. Now he's bowled well. He hasn't had much to do with the ball, but when he's come on to do it in this competition so far, he's bowled very well. He started with a full ball there, but straight. That's what we want, really. Full and straight. A little bit too literal. Little bit too literal. Bowled well this morning. He had a game in the afternoon, so he's just full cricket today. Training for 2.5 hours this morning. He had a game in the afternoon just over at the ground next door, CSC. Now he's on for his second game of the day over at the IA ground. Started full toss wide. Concentrate, hit your line, hit your length, put those NPS batters under pressure. And that's going to be another wide. NPS will be happy with the start. They're up with the rate into the third over, scores 11. Let's have a look at the opening batsman here. We got the captain, Ganapathinidi. Not the easiest one for me to get my tongue around. He's just cut that down to 45. They've scrambled through to 1. I've forgotten I've got a job to do on the camera. I need to get back in the game myself and concentrate. And Yashasvi is the other opening batter. That's more like it. Anika, full and straight. Make the batters work. It'll be a very good chase from NPS. If KRS bowl anything like they can, they'll need to work hard for their runs. But if KRS keep feeding them wides and extras, it'll be a walk in the park for NPS. Score on to 14 already. 8 extras. 8 extras, 8 wides. Oh, it's all going on there. Looked like it should have been a wide. Keeper took it. Hasn't kept in a little while, so a few cobwebs there, and he's thrown one at the stumps, about 10 inches above the stumps, and hit the batter in the forearm. Well, I think there was a nick there, the KRS Reds. Got to say, I didn't hear anything myself. Perhaps the batter hit the bat as the ball passed, but nothing doing for me there. Another wide, is it? It is another wide, so just not enough control from the Reds. This is a disappointing start. Not showing what they can do. 9 extras, 9 wides. The score's 15. They've already bowled an extra over and a half. Score should be just 6 really without the extras. And there's a dot. That's the end of the third over. The rate up at 5s, which is going to be good enough. They won't even have to score too many runs off the bat if the KRS Reds keep bowling like this. Because out of the 15, they bowled 9 wides already in just 3 overs. So they bowled 3 legitimate overs and an extra 1.5. In wides. Not a great start, has to be said. If they're going to defend this total, they need to pull their finger out Need to sort their lines out. They need to switch on the bowling unit. Cool. Come in for a second over. Nicely bowled. They've scrambled through for one. Not quite sure how they've got one to him there. He looks to be very close. Not sure who the fielder is. But they've scrambled through one. Good awareness. Has to be said, good running. They've got through for quite a comfortable single in the end, the NPS boys. And that's down to long on. Should be one. He's bowled well, Thakur. The first 8 balls, giving his captain some control. Still got a 5-4 offside field. I'll take 1, maybe 2. They've decided against it. I think it's the right call. Fielders ended up doing quite well. They got to the ball quickly. There wasn't really enough pace on the ball to run away to turn back for the second. So good calling with between the NPS opening pair. Good bowling still as well. Bowler just wanted his point a bit further behind. Get down. It's gone through extra cover. Got to get the ball in the air. Good fielding. Restricts them to 1. Should have been a dot, straight through extra cover. Inside out, it won't go for 4, it'll plug down there. Should just be 2. They've turned to come back. Good shot inside out. Well bowled. Cut that away. They'll have to run them though. Slow out there. Get the ball out. He's got a good arm. They come back for 2. So another good over for NPS. Just keeping ahead of the rate. I think that takes them on to 23 of 4 overs. Another decent enough over from Thakur. He's gone for 9 off his 2 overs. The required run rate from NPS, 4.75. So they're doing a good job so far. They're above the rate. Just. But they'll be the happier of the 2 sides after 4 overs for sure. KRS just need to get on top of these extras, these wides. Without the wides, KRS are very much in the driving seat of this game. You take 9 runs off of that total, and they're already turning the screw a lot. But with the extra runs, the extra balls they're bowling, they're going to make life very, very difficult for themselves. NPS won't want that to stop. Keep bowling wide, they'll say. They'll win the game in 10 overs. Tucked into the leg side, it's a good shot. Should just be 1. Bit of a gap there. The man, you just see him there. Sweeper out on the leg side. Square leg boundary, just in front. A lot of space out there for him to cover. Very slow outfield as well, so be doing a lot of running. They've just changed that, just as I've said that, they've changed that. Drop the fine leg back. And the deep square legs come into the ring on 1. Oh, and he's bowled a short ball that's been hit out there. The very next ball, it's not the brightest bowling, it has to be said. That's a good piece of fielding. They run 2. Well, bring your deep square leg up. Very next ball, bowl a half tracker and get clobbered over there. They're going to change it back like a yo-yo. There he goes, fine leg back into the ring. Deep backward square goes back. Let's try it this way again. See if the batter will oblige. Hold it. That's good running. They're on the ball, these two batters, it has to be said. They've started well with their running. They're intent to get through for the single. Has been good. Good clear calling. Good backing up by the non-striker. And as soon as one of them says yes, they're off. Been good so far. That ball's gone straight up. I think it's going to be safe. It's always going away from him. Difficult when the ball goes back over the shoulder at the best of times. Especially difficult under the lights. But he didn't end up really getting anywhere near that. Most important thing with those high catches is you got to get the leg work in early. You got to get to the ball. Any high catch, you got to get there first. If you don't get there, you're never going to catch it. Didn't quite line that one up properly, and as you'll see, it's probably a bit slow to get going, get underneath the ball. That one is over the infield. Won't go for 4. I'll just pick up a couple. Well, it's been a good start by NPS. 1 to 30 already. So they're ticking along very nicely. Got that rate down to 4.5s. Just the 69 required. Oh, now he's picked that up very well. He's sent that out into the deep. We won't really pick it up, but that's not where to bowl. 6 biscuits, and now that really has put the pressure on the KRS Reds. They haven't bowled well enough in the first 5 overs. Takes the score on to 36 off 5. And the pressure's on the Reds. It's a case a little bit of not having the right fields again. They seem to insist, the captain seems to insist on having a 5-4 offside field when none of the batters really hit it through the offside. Discussed at the break having 5-4 leg side field, bowling straight. But here we are, and again, leg spinner into attack. Semi-Desai. That's a wide. Looks at his footwear, as if he slipped a little bit there, but just a bit of a tentative start, as have all the bowlers. Through the fielder at extra cover. Not a very good display so far from the Reds. They'll need to do something about that quickly, otherwise NPS will chase these runs very comfortably indeed. That's a better ball. It's just stupid cricket, really. They're already comfortably through for the single. He's thrown the ball like a rocket. They were never going to take two. Stupid. Nobody backing it up. Wow. KRS are going to need to stem the flow. Otherwise, NPS are going to romp home to victory here. Oh, it's a late cut. The man at... Oh, he's missed it. It was byes. Bit of magic here required from the young leggy, maybe the Google. Chuck that one up, got it under the bat. It's much more like it. Let's see if it can build from there, build a few dots. He bowled very well on Thursday. Started wicket. Today he started with a wide, so slightly different start. Google tried to trap him with the Google. It's a good finish at least, so he can take some confidence away with it. Well played. Another good over for NPS though. They're on 43 for no loss after the power play. 6 overs done. And this is the end of the power play. Was just about where NPS started to gain control again. They could drop a few fielders out, get control of their field, and they got the 2 wickets. Well, they got the wicket of each opener in consecutive overs. That really stemmed the flow quite nicely, apart from a bit of resistance from Takar. They really controlled the innings from there, the NPS bowlers. KRS Reds are going to have to do a similar thing. Down on, got a big front hoof down the wicket. They've scrambled too. I forgot to record it. Oh, it would have been close. It would have been close, I think, with a direct hit. Fielder's in the wrong place. Mid wicket, 2 square. No, he was in the right position before then. He's now in the wrong position. Mid-wicket, he was straight. Coach has moved him squarer, which I don't think is right. I'm just observing a bit of chat going on from the boundary, from the coach to the players. I think whilst there is time for that, I think once the boys are out there, they've got to play, they've got to learn, they've got to get on with it. Mid-wicket here, looking very wide. I would have him much straighter. It's a good shot. Oh, he's got him. A mix-up. Straight to point. They needed that, the Reds. That's the first case of bad calling for the NPS boys, and it's resulted in, well, he had already walked off. I think he was halfway up the other end. The fielding was pretty tidy, I have to say. Clean pick up into the keeper, and he knew his race was run. So good start from the opening pair for NPS. They've certainly broken the back of the chase, and in pretty good time. 46 for one of 6.2, 6.3. And the Reds needed that wicket just to bring a bit of momentum back their way, stem the flow of runs coming to the NPS team. Let's see if they can get 2 in 2. I think if the Reds are going to have a chance of getting back in this game, they're going to need to take some wickets.
Go Shravan!
Well bowled, it's to that fielder again. Wow, I think he got away with a fantastic piece of fielding. Just the ball before, they've said a nice loud early no. But on this occasion, the ball burst through his hands, went past him by 10, 15 yards, probably was one.
Go Shravan!
But he did the damage the ball before. And he's managed to save a single again, even although it was a slight fumble and misfield. That's a wide. This just isn't good enough from the Reds. Too many wide balls, too many loose balls. They'll know that. That's not the plan. It would have been discussed at training. Bowl full and straight, and if you can't bowl full and straight, bowl one side of the wicket. You've got 5 on the offside, so you shouldn't really be slinging too many down the leg side. And there's another one. It's just not good enough. Extras already up at 13. 12 wides. They've already bowled in 7 overs. They bowled 2 extra overs of wide balls. At any level of cricket, that's just not good enough. There's a dot ball. Should be a dot. The man again, the captain, too deep at mid wicket. Not good enough. If you're on one, be on one. They shouldn't be able to scramble. The new batter should not be able to scramble a single that easily. Although now he's on strike, so hopefully they can squeeze him up with the leg spinner. KRS finally getting the breakthrough in that over. The captain it was that was run out. Ganapathanidi, 23 of 17, so he was the man looking to tick a little bit there. Of course, I'm assuming that the scorers have got things right. They've had a bit of a nightmare this evening. So I'm completely reliant on the digital scorecard. If that's wrong, even when that's right, I'm often wrong in fact. So It's a Google going down leg side though. It's ragged quite a lot, that one. Looked from straight, maybe off stump, middle stump, turning down leg. Well bowled. The plan is for him to bowl that googly a little bit more, have a little bit more confidence with it. Catch that. Good fielding. This is more like it. You take one wicket, all of a sudden the pressure changes. We get a new batter out there. Things start to happen. The calling's not quite as good. It's difficult to get started. KRS are going to need to squeeze the new batter. Well bowled. Got some good skills, the young leggy. Bowls at a decent pace, can turn his leg spinner. He's got a googly that he can turn. And like all leg spinners, he's got one of those in the old arsenal as well. It's a wicket-taking delivery though, if he had the right field. Oh, it's another run out. Absolute disaster. I think that was the other opener. Yashasvi, I think he's gone. He's disappointed. You can see by the body language he's disappointed. The umpires are just coming together here. Well, the umpire at the non-strikers has given that not out, which is another joke. I don't know whether the umpire at that end has the authority to overturn the decision. Well, that's bizarre. The umpire at this end is the one that was quite rude to me. He's obviously the more senior of the two umpires, but that's not really saying a lot at this standard. He's overturned the decision, which I don't entirely think he's got the authority to do once it's been given out. Which really, for me, just makes the standard of umpiring even more shambolic than it already is. So he's called back the batter. We'll have to have another look at that on the... Well, I think this umpire, I think I can see an NPS shirt under that umpire's jersey he's wearing. Well, now the umpire's going to go over chat to him and say, there you go, mate. Enjoy the rest of your innings. Absolutely shambolic.
One straight, come on. Bowling, keep it up. Continue that way, come on. Delivery, come on.
Oh, there's a lot of drama there. I felt like the Reds had both openers batter was given out, overturned by the umpire that, well, he's adjudged the keeper. He must have adjudged the keeper not to have picked the ball up cleanly. Late cut. That'll run away for 2, most likely. Turn and go. Good throw. Now, where is... There was a young lad that turned up to training today. Bowled very nicely. He hasn't bowled yet. I'd quite like to see him have a trundle. The other pace bowler, well, of course he's not going to give it out. His mate there, number 14, and the umpire, of course he's not going to give it out. He's just called him back. Very unlikely to get a run-out decision from him, I would say. I'm being very cynical now, of course. Slightly tongue-in-cheek. Slightly. Of course, we don't work for the SCA. We don't work for anyone, so I guess it's our channel. We can say what we like. We can speculate. We can insinuate. We can do what we want on here. Maybe we should do more of it. Well, as we are. NPS on to 57 for 1. They're going very well indeed. The rate is under 4s now, 3.71. Well bowled. It's all been a bit off the pace from the Reds so far. They're going to need something magical to happen from one of their bowlers. Maybe a run out. Oh dear. If they're going to turn this back around, they need to get the momentum back their way. It's the 9th over. 58 for 1. 1 ball to go in the 9th. That's ball that's going to get well fielded. So they'll just pick up 2, I think. Confirm whether that was 4 or not. Concerning that the umpires can't see that from where they are. That's the end of the 9th over. Well, we'll get to have a nice drink at the end of this over. A lot's happened. It's been eventful to say the least. We'll have a look at some more leg spin from this end. $59 for 1 off after 9 overs. Extras up at 13. Just having a look at the scorecard here. 12 wides. Well bowled, good start. Basharia.
Bowling well, Shaya.
Sharia, wide 1. Well bowled, very good start. There's a bit in it for the tall leggy. If he can get his lines right, his length right, he could be a handful. His KRS Reds team could do with him. Oh, now that's nearly sneaked through. That'll be 1. Keep hold of the ball, wicketkeeper. You've already not been awarded 1 run out for trying to chuck the ball onto the stumps. Hold the ball and take the bails off. Let's have a bit of a field change. Long off comes up, long on goes back. Chucks that one up there, well bowled. Beats the outside edge, he's started well here. Sharia. It's a loopy full toss, he's got to get down, save the one. It was hit at him, bounced just in front of him. He managed to get his body behind it there. I think that's Pranit Bar to straight extra cover. That's a good looking ball. Get down to it, well done. Save the single. Tried to give them one though, didn't he? Slightly daft cricket, brings the 10 overs to a close. The score, 61 for 1 off 10, so NPS well ahead of the rate. That required run rate down at 3.8. They need just 38 runs to win. And we have to say at this point, KRS Reds have got a lot to do. They haven't done enough with the ball at this stage. They bowled too loosely. They didn't take the opportunity of the run out, which was overturned. So they'll need to do more in the second half. Well, a short drinks break. We're way behind where we need to be at. I don't have a clue what this field is. The leg spinner's gone from the top end. He doesn't have a deep square leg or a deep mid wicket. He's got a deep mid wicket very straight. He's got a long on. That one comes down to fine leg. They're going to pick up. Wow. Disappointing really. Between the captain and the bowler. And I can say it's because we work with them, but the field's not right. Well, the captain, he's got it wrong here, really. That's not the right position either. No. Changing the field, the captain. That should be just the one out to long on. Well, disappointing. They're not getting a very good account of themselves this evening so far, the Reds, with the ball in hand. But NPS, credit where credit's due. They've ticked along very nicely, and at this stage, it looks like they're going to win the game. A full toss hit straight down the ground. That's the shortest boundary out here. That'll just be one. So, NPS, they just need to continue as they are. They keep bringing that required rate down. It's now below 3.5. Just the 31 runs required. That's a short ball. It's well collected by the keeper though. He'll feel like he's got away with one there, the young leggy. The batter will feel like he's missed out on one, however. There's a lot of space into that leg side. No one at 45 here, he could have paddled it round the corner. It's a Google, he hasn't picked it. It's well bowled. He's got some good skills, the young leggy, but if he doesn't set the right field for himself and start taking responsibility for that now, he's going to miss out on a lot of opportunities to take wickets. Obviously difficult to commentate on these KRS games as an impartial commentator, because I'm not. I want to see them do well. We work with them a lot. These boys don't get a lot of opportunities to play though, and executing your skills in the nets versus playing the game of cricket are two very, very different things. Just because you can showboat and do this, that and the other in the nets doesn't mean you know how to play the game. Just showing a bit of inexperience so far. That goes into the leg side, should just be one. It is. NPS ticking along very nicely. I have to say they've done very well. I've not been impressed with the extras of either side, but other than that, NPS have definitely been on top for most of this game. And that's another catch down. And he's thrown the ball. Again, just a bit of inexperience. Drop the catch, threw the ball. That's up in the air. It's over the infield. We'll plug. Should be out if there's a good throw, but plugs. Got to set yourself, got to throw the ball properly. If it hits any part of this outfield, when you're throwing the ball back to the bowler, back to the keeper, it's just going to stop and lose all of its pace. Got to try and throw the ball flat. Now that's been hit into the leg side. Should be another one. So the ball's going in the air. It's gone to hand earlier in the over. Didn't stick. The two shots after that, one just looped over mid-off. The other one just sort of clothed into the leg side, which is where they should have 5 fielders, and we discussed that at great length, but I'm not going to harp on about that. We're not going to mention that too much. Yes, the leg spinner is turning it away, but there's no pace on the ball. There's been no player that I've seen that can hit the ball consistently well through the offside. What they do is they tend to cloth it into the leg side. That tends to be the result on the offside. Just a little push forward and prod. Maybe the shot inside out over straight extra or mid-off, but certainly nothing has been worked at any great pace, squarer than that. So the 3 men, man short third, behind point, square cover. Don't need 3 men there. Of course, if you start to get hit through there, you can change things, but to the batting that I've seen, they've all looked to go to the leg side. The young leggy comes in again. No, too short, that'll be 6. Bit too short, and that's really where to hit that. It's a good hit by the opening batter, Yashasvi called back, given a second life, and he's cashing in on it so far. That was a really good strike. Wasn't a great ball, but he's timed it very well and got a maximum, and that brings the required rate down to below threes, 2.68. Yeah, I think it's just gonna not be the Reds' evening. That ball looked to just miss the stumps. The keeper didn't quite collect on this occasion, and maybe the occasion earlier in the night. Well, at least if we're going to lose, let's lose quickly. The delay in the middle added an extra 35 minutes to the evening that wasn't really required for anyone. It's gone, it's 10 past 10 here in Singapore. Oh, and extra covers just dived over that one. So I think it looks like the KRS boys want this to be over quickly as well. Diving over the top of it. Keeper didn't want to collect that one. Backed up, no, that's nice. So I guess get us all on the road early. The KRS lads. Rate 2.5, 18 runs needed, 7 overs to go after this ball. Google, not sure if he's picked it. Just ones everywhere into that leg side. The field's not right. Said it once. Said it 100 times. Yep, so far good account. NPS have given a good account of themselves. They've, apart from the opening partnership from KRS Reds, this has been all NPS this game. They controlled it by taking consistent wickets. The Reds had a bit of a fight back. With the bat, Thakur leading that. But since then, all NPS. Shraya, the leg spin, hit back over his head, should only be one really. Well fielded. Came round nicely. It's a full toss over the offside. We chased it, just be 2. Feels like the life has been sucked out of the red team here. Disappointing really. I'm sat on the far side of the ground, but it seemed like that break got in their heads a little bit. The talk from the coaches, it seemed like they should have a couple more runs than they were given in the scorecard. Rather than taking that momentum of a good finish at the end of the innings. I thought they got up to a very decent total, getting near 100. They didn't look like getting anywhere near 100 for a long while. The projected rate was down at low 80s, so I thought they did well. I feel like they didn't take that momentum in as a result of the break. And they certainly started off the pace, and they've never really recovered. NPS, on the other hand, they started well. They had a good opening partnership, which really broke the back of the chase. That's a lovely looking shot through the offside. Cover will give, extra cover will give chase again. It'll be another couple. And And this game coming to a very abrupt end. 11 runs required. We'll just zoom out a little bit, I think. That's a lovely looking shot. Giving more of a pano view for the crowd. It's been a difficult one to call this. Long game, not easy to do it on your own. Absolute shambles in the middle. Difficult to follow the scorecard. Obviously the scorer had made a mistake. Somewhere around the 16th, 17th over. And on top of that, the Reds have not given a fantastic account of themselves so far with the ball. There's a few bowlers that haven't bowled just yet, which I'm also a bit surprised at. In fact, Daryl's sat on the other other side of the ground. I'm gonna WhatsApp him and just, there's a lad that bowled very well at training earlier today. I'm gonna ask him why he isn't bowling. There we go, fired out a WhatsApp from the comm box to the coach on the other side of the ground. Pretty sure in the modern game, that's how it's done. A wonderful panned out view here. We'll just keep it on the panned out view for a little while, I think, just to take in the ground, take in the evening. It's been a lovely evening for cricket, and another poor piece of fielding really. It's just not good enough. Head in hands, and you know, heads are down, but for any young cricketers watching, any KRS boys watching this back, anyone playing in this competition, it doesn't make a difference. After you've misfielded, after you've been run out, all of that stuff is all nonsense. Carry yourself like a professional, carry yourself like a man. You're not a toddler anymore, nobody cares. Yes, you're probably a little bit embarrassed. Yes, you know the standard wasn't good enough. Recover, get on with it, get on with your job. Nobody cares. Once you start to get a little bit older, under 19s, playing men's cricket, you're not going to care for your little tantrum. You're not going to care for your little toys out the pram, hitting your pads, throwing your bat. Trust me, I know. You'll learn very quickly. It's gone through the keeper, that one. Wow. Let's go back. I'm waiting for Daryl to message me. He's blue ticked me. Yeah, he's blue ticked me. Blue ticked by my own brother. He's not got the answer. Maybe he doesn't know. .94 for one is the total. 5 runs required. The left arm goal into the attack. He's started quite nicely. He could have done with bowling a little bit earlier. He's bowled well whenever he's got the ball so far. Just offering something different with the angle. His first over has gone for 3. But too little, too late, I'm afraid, for the KRS Reds, who look like they're going to go down to a relatively bad victory here. And as we approach the end of this chase from NPS, who have played very well, it has to be said, they controlled most of this game. the KRS Reds in this innings, they've not bowled well enough, they've not bowled straight enough. The extras are up at 19, 15 of those are wides, so that's getting on towards, that's 2.5 extra overs, 2.5 extra overs that they've bowled at NPS. And 15 runs. So if you take the 15 runs for the wides, get back down to about 80 with 2 overs to go. So they'd need, what would they need? 18 off 12 if they didn't bowl those extras. Back into the attack. Also seems to, no, it's too little too late. He's still got a 5-4 offside field, and there it is. He got a wicket. He's bowled the opener. Let's see if the umpire calls him back for this one. Ooh, you cynic. Sat here on my own being cynical. Oh, he's waving. What's the ball? I thought he was calling him back there for a second. It's actually a very good knock. Take nothing away from Yashasvi. 33 from 46. He did enough. He did enough to get his team over the line. He's nearly seen it through. He'll be disappointed not to have seen it through, I think, having done such a good job. Just 4 runs to win for NPS. Now, I don't want to sound too miserable, but that wicket is probably going to keep us here for at least another 10 minutes, which isn't really what I wanted. At 20 past 10 on a Sunday, I've got a Nando's at home waiting for me. Oh, he's taken 2 in 2. Would you Adam and Eve it? As I was saying, got a Nando's waiting at home for me, which I'm quite looking forward to getting stuck into. Absolutely starving. 20 past 10. Been here since 6-ish. Just about out of stuff to talk about, so we'll talk about Nando's. I'm a hot sauce man, if you're asking. I've got a pitta, 2 sides. I have the chips and a coleslaw. I'll probably add a little bit of extra hot sauce as well. It's probably my go-to order from Nando's. Don't like the video, why don't you just comment? What's your go-to order from Nando's? Are you a fan of Nando's? If not Nando's, what do you have? Comment below. And if you do comment, you may as well give it a like and subscribe. Sat out here on a Sunday, bringing you the highlights. It's been a disappointing account of the Reds here tonight. They're much better than, oh, that was a hat-trick. I'm too busy talking about Nando's, I missed the hat-trick ball there. Didn't end up playing out, fortunately. Otherwise that would have been some of the actual worst commentary ever. But it just goes to show, had that wicket, the run out been given, had it stood, this could have been a much, much different game. Much different outcome, and that's a really good over from Thakur. taking 2 poles. If I'm not mistaken, he didn't go for a run in it. Oh yes, he did. The first ball went for 1. Dot, wicket, wicket, dot, dot. Well bowled. Oh, you just need a few more overs like that. In fact, I was going to say you need 4 more overs like that. If 4 more overs did happen like that, they'd still lose. Anyway, here we go, back to the action. He's going to give that. It's another wicket. The batsman stood there pleading with the umpire, not sure what about. He's got his finger up, you've got to go. I think he felt like he might have hit the ball, but unlucky, off you pop. This is what we were saying, unfortunately. There's not much in any of these under-19s teams past 1 and 2. You take a couple of wickets and you're right in amongst it. Anything can happen. The same thing happened with the Reds team. Once the opening pair was dismissed, it became very difficult for the rest of the team to score runs. You'll see from the scorecard. Bart got 25 at 1. Bakala got 12 at 2 for the Reds. Thakur got 34 not out. And other than that, 4-2-0-1-4-0-1. Nobody else got into double figures apart from extras. In the KRS innings, it looks like it's going to be a similar kind of scenario for NPS. Top 3 look like they can bat. The rest of them look like they'll make it, or they'll find it very difficult. It's been disappointing that the Reds haven't given a good account of themselves with the ball this morning. Maybe captain's got to take a bit of responsibility. And that's another wicket. This is an outstanding. Well, I'm being miserable here that we're going to stick around. I wish they had about, well, let's count the extras. 15 wides. I wish they had 15 more wides to play with, and you'd chip off 2.5 overs. All of a sudden, this is a very easy KRS Reds win. And I think that is what's going to be the most disappointing thing when they end up losing this. I've seen a lot of things in cricket, but with 3.4 overs to go, I can't see the situation where the Reds win this game. I would love for it to happen, don't get me wrong. NPS need 4 runs in 3.5 overs. The Reds need 5 wickets to win the game. I've seen a lot of very silly things in cricket, but this would be one of the silliest. But why not? Another wicket here. Oof, now it's very close. 2 balls to go in the over. Oh, now they're up and about, the Reds. What I will say is they've gone down fighting. It hasn't quite been their evening with the ball, but they haven't given up. Got to give them credit for that. And now they squeeze. And this is what NPS did very, very well to KRS. It just looks like the Reds didn't quite get out of the blocks fast enough with the ball. And what a decision calling back the opener has turned out to be. There'll be a dot as well. Wow, they're taking it deep. They're making it very difficult for NPS. 4 runs needed for the victory. 3 runs needed to tie. Now there was a bit of argy-bargy at half time where the KRS camp felt like they'd counted to 100. How important are those potential extra 2 runs that could have been missed? How important is that going to be? We're going to find out when I do the highlights for this game. I'm not sure. I might put up a little caption because I would have watched the game back and put the runs in that may or may not have been missed. Oh no, now that's all over. Big floaty full toss. It's gone out there to the boundary and that's gone for 4. That'll just about be the end of the game. What a pity. Unlucky. Well played, NPS. Cruel, really. The 4 wickets in 2 overs that KRS took. They thought they had a glimmer of hope, but NPS closed out the victory very professionally. In the end, full toss pinged into the onside. They take the victory. So NPS winning by 5 wickets. I just want to thank everybody for tuning in and listen to me dribbling on my own in the commentary box, if you did in fact do that. If you did tune into the highlights, thank you again for your support. We do really appreciate anyone that goes on, watches these. They're our first videos, our first attempts really at putting out longer form content in the shape of cricket matches that we're going to commentate on and try and bring cricket in Singapore to life a little bit more. So I do want to say thank you. We're very grateful. If you're on the video, do give it a like. If you're entertained by this, I would very much recommend, if you haven't seen it already, watch the KRS Reds game against Sportigo. It's a much shorter game. It was rain affected, 7 overs aside. It goes to a last over finish, so give that one a watch. Until next time, keep well, and we'll see you again soon.